Hey TransLash family, it's me, Imara Jones, back after not doing this for 1 month, not being with y'all for 1 month. It's because I was on vacation. I needed a little break. To be honest, it's a little hard to come back after being in South Africa for 3 weeks, but what makes it a little bit easier is that I know that I'm coming back to all of y'all and to our tremendous community and our conversation that we have built. At the end of this little talk back, I will talk about what I learned in South Africa about the way in which the natural world will help us save ourselves, our trans community. So, as you know, this is our weekly talk back. We used to call it a Facebook talk back, but we're not going to do that anymore because our community is growing so much on all social media platforms that we're sucking in all that information to figure out exactly what the trends are and what we are speaking about. I'm happy to say that as we begin this new year, despite so much bad news in the world, what you guys are most focused on are all the good stuff. The good stuff being Lizzo's shout out to our trans community. She of course won Grammys this week, which we're also really happy about, but about the need to support and protect Black trans women. We also had Gutierrez-Mock, who won the World Latin Dance Cup. He's a trans man. I don't know if he's in a relationship to Janet Mock. Does she salsa? I'll have to ask her. But we're really happy about those, and everyone throughout our community is talking about those. But we also have lots of challenges, right, that we all know about that aren't going away. Most sort of buzz about in terms of our community and what we're talking about across social media platforms is the pending South Dakota bill that would ban doctors from treating trans kids, from giving trans kids life-saving medicine, life-saving access to medical care. Chase Strangio at the ACLU, who's been on lots of our programs and shows, is sounding the alarm about that. There's so many articles about that, and everyone on our page is deeply concerned about that. All our pages are deeply concerned about that because we all know whether or not if we had access to those, it could have made a huge difference, and we know that it's going to make a difference in the lives of kids. So we're all super hyper-focused on that, and there's lots of conversation about that. And also, in terms of conversation, is the entire embrace by the Sanders campaign of Joe Rogan, who has said many transphobic, racist, and things just against our community that has engaged a lot of thought and a lot of conversations. So that's also a huge buzz. And then there are ways in which we are working to save ourselves, such as the Black Trans Travel Fund, which a lot of people were excited about and gave a lot of support across all of our platforms in terms of what they're doing and how thrilled we are that they are doing that. So that's kind of the roundup, and we'll continue to do that. One of the things we're going to focus on this year is the election, and the election, what it means for us. Our community has as much at stake as anyone in terms of what's happening in 2020, so we're going to be focused on that. We have lots of different content related to that that we'll talk about moving forward. Additionally, I wanted to just end by saying that one of the things I was lucky enough to do, really lucky enough to do in South Africa was to go on safari. And one of the things that I noticed just in observing animals for days and days is how much they cooperate and how much they come together. And it dawned on me that that's the way that we're actually going to make it through this moment. That's the way that we're going to save ourselves, is to continue to come together, to form relationships, to support each other, to be there for each other. And that's really important because a lot of our community continues to face a lot of violence. There was a person that I know that also was across our platforms that everyone spoke about, a trans woman journalist who faced severe violence, Serena Denari, who lives here in New York City. And then of course there was the bombing of an outreach center in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, I believe, or no, Pittsburgh, sorry, where people were facing that particular shock to their community. So there's lots of things happening, but the thing that will get us all through is coming together. So see you next week.